You've probably seen a lot of videos going around on YouTube, especially on how to get, your best 2024. And they've been flying around, talking about resolutions, talking about goals. But hey, we know this to be true, right? We've done the same in 2023, same in 2021, 2019, and we've probably not seen more or better results. And it got me questioning, why is it so? Because let's be real, every start of the year, we all, genuinely sit down and question what it is we want to do with our lives. Where are we heading? What could we improve on better? How do we want to live our lives? And this is a genuine and authentic conversation that we all have every single start of the year. But guess what? Not even end of the year. There is even a day for Quitters Day, which is 19th of January. So basically, many of us are off track already, just 2 weeks in a year. And that's how ridiculous this is. And personally, I struggled with this. So this video is coming from my empathy, me knowing how I struggle with every single of those, which you might probably still be struggling with as well. And today, it might be cool to talk about goal setting, it might be cool to talk about resolutions, but personally, they didn't work for me. And this is why I don't want to do a video on that. What I rather chose to do today is to talk about frameworks. There is a lot of frameworks I came across as I try to understand the world. How do I make better decisions? How do I advance in life? How do I achieve the results I want to achieve? And personally, frameworks worked better for me than anything else. And the thing I love about frameworks is they actually work when you work them. They're practical. It's not something abstract. You can literally see through where you're at implementing the framework. And this is why I chose to share them with you. I have around 6 of them, but I will also have a bonus for you with 3 added mental models. And these are powerful tools that I use every day, and I keep using them. And I hope that as I share them with you, they will change the way you actually do things every day. So without taking much of your time, I already did, but let's go. Framework number 1. The framework number 1 is called OBT. Now, follow this. Every single day when we wake up, I know a lot of people who have to-do lists, and you might be one of them. And this is an exhausting list of the things you want to do. And, every single day you are exhausted at the end of the day, checking through, did I do this? Did I miss this? And let's be honest, we never do that. I learned this framework from Naval Ravikant. He is a successful investor with billions of portfolio in his companies. And he talks about walk like a lion rather than a cow. Basically, this is how it goes. So the cow, it just sits there, it grazes all day, keeping the head down, grazing on the low nutrients food, which is basically grass, right? And, at the end of the day, it doesn't have a lot that it actually achieved. A lion, it doesn't work like that. It sits down, it identifies a prey, that might be a gazelle, might be a zebra or anything else. And when it sees that, it sprints after that, and it catches that, and that's it for the day. Now, OBT is a principle that works like that. It's called one big thing. And every day you have to wake up with this framework and say, what is the one thing that if I do this thing today, I am ahead, I've done the most for today, right? So you literally want to identify what's the one thing that if done will have, like, let's say 80 or 90% of the impact on your results or on your progress. And when you have identified what's your OBT for the day, I suggest that you do that. You wake up, you do that. And one thing you have to learn with this framework is you have to make peace with everything. Like, if I've done my OBT, I'm happy to work around the day doing anything however I want, as long as my OBT is done. And the OBT might be as simple as a 20-minute call with an investor or a client on a portfolio, and that's it for the day. And as long as you nail that one thing, you are ahead of the curve, right? So it's a powerful framework. It changed the way I live my life because every day I wake up with an OBT. What's the one big thing? If done today, I'm good for the rest of the day. The rest, I can manage to do as chilly as I can. That's the first framework. The second framework here is called ABZ framework. That's a Z, not C. ABZ framework, right? So the ABZ framework, before I actually came across the framework, I used to stress a lot around when I'm studying a project, because personally I'm a perfectionist. So I need to know everything. I need to have it figured out before I even begin. And that was a lot to process, right? So I had to learn, how do I actually start without necessarily having everything figured out in place, right? And if you're like me, this framework is a game changer. So ABZ framework, it suggests that first, the A is, where are you currently at? So you have to identify that and make sure that you know where you are in your life and say, okay, right now, this is where I'm at. Okay, maybe right now can be, I just finished my college. I have, just few money in my bank account, and that's where I'm at. And B is, what is the next step, right? So instead of stressing out around necessarily figure out all the details, simply ask yourself, this is where I'm at. What could be or should be or might be the very next step from where I'm at, right? And write your B. And your B might be as simply as, okay, I'm going to build my online portfolio so that job providers can easily find me. And that's your B, okay? Your very next step, something that you can do right away with where you are, what you should do the very next step. And Z is, what is the bigger picture? What does the end look like? What's the vision? What is the actual picture of when this is done, the dream? How does it look like? So ABC framework, it suggests that you know where you are, you identify what should be the very next step, and you have a clear picture of what is the end of where you're trying to achieve in whatever you're doing. And if you're taking on a project, this is a great framework. You don't have to have all the resources in place. You don't have to have the team in place. You just ask yourself, okay, this is what the project I'm trying to work on. What is where am my current state, where I'm at? Write it down. Next step, what should I do? The very next thing. Should I talk to a customer and ask if this is a good idea? Should I develop a pitch to talk to investors? Just put the next step down and then have the bigger picture. What is the vision for this thing when it ends? Now, the beauty of this framework is, as fast as you write B automatically becomes A. Now you have to figure out what should be the next step, right? And for instance, I use this framework for my content creation. I'm like, okay, where am I at right now? Right now, I don't have enough equipment. I don't have anything. I just have the knowledge to share with my audience, right? And I had that written down. Okay, 2, what should be my very next step? Find a simple camera, find some tools for recording, then go for it. But my Z is that I want to build a platform. I want to build a space for where I can talk to millions of people and educate them and impart their lives, right? So I'm not at Z, but I'm doing my B, right? So I hope this makes sense. That's the second framework, ABC. Third framework, flow and roof goals. This is a powerful framework if you're trying to understand why you struggle with achieving your goals, right? Now, this is how it works. So every time you are setting a goal, you should not set one goal. You should set 2 goals. So there should be a flow goal and there should be a roof goal. A flow goal is the idea that, okay, this is what I'm trying to achieve. And these are the metrics that are achievable. And in all honesty, if I don't achieve this, I would be personally disappointed because this is achievable, right? So those are flow goals. Then roof goals is that if things work out extremely way better than I ever imagined, this is how it can look like. And those becomes your roof goals. Now, here is what you don't know. Most of you have been setting only the roof goals. You set audacious goals, and when you don't achieve them, you think you are not doing better in your life. But in essence, you have maybe achieved the flow goals. It's just that you don't know that you achieved the flow goals. And for that case, you don't see the progress you're making in your life. So the better you start understanding this framework, that you have to set 2 goals for every goals you have, the better your life will become. Because you will, if you examine your life, currently you're not really worse than you were last year. There are some progress you made. But because you couldn't quantify them in terms of goals, because of the way you set them, you can't see that progress. So this framework helps you see the little progress you're making in your life. Make sense? So you have to set roof goals and floor goals every single day. This is a game changer, right? Now, the fourth framework is really around content creation. So you might be thinking about moving into content, but you don't understand this space, and I personally had to look this from you. So if I'm going into content, what should be the framework I follow through to make sure that I understand this space and how can I play better? Now, let's make this right. The goal of content creation should not be and is not fame. Fame is the wrong goal. You're not doing this to become famous. You're doing this to become known well. And there is a difference between being known well and being well known. So when you're doing content creation, the goal is to become known well. And why in the first place should you aim to become known well? Because let me give you this. So there are 4 levels of luck, right? And I will tell you the reason I'm telling you this. So the first level of luck is blind luck. It's like literally, a lightning just struck you. You didn't do anything. You were just in the right place, in the right moment, and things happened. You didn't do anything, like literally anything to make it happen. That's blind luck, right? Second, there is fortune favors the bold. That's the second level of luck. So this is the type of luck where you don't know what you're doing. You don't know maybe even what you want in life. You just say, okay, I can't sit here doing nothing. I might as well find something to do. So you do a bunch of things here and there, and randomly, one of them works. So that's boldness, and you got luck because of your boldness. You tried a lot of things, and 1 or 2 of them randomly worked, right? That's the second level of luck. The third level of luck is chance favors the prepared. So maybe you saw where the world is going, you learned the trend, maybe you learned powerful insights around AI and how it works, and by the time, let's say ChatGPT opened up, they're looking for someone who has profound understanding on that subject matter, and you happen to be prepared in that space. So in that situation, many people would say you are lucky, but the truth is you were prepared for the luck, right? So one thing people need to understand is you don't just need to become around with opportunities, you need to become worthy of those opportunities. Because you can get opportunities, but because you're not worth of them, they are worthless to you, right? Now, the fourth level of luck, which is why I had to walk you through all the levels of luck. The fourth level of luck is when luck finds you. This is what content creation does. This is where you have people reaching out in your DM. They're like, hey, we're working on this startup and we saw that you have understanding around this. Can you invest? Can you come on board as an advisor? Can you link us with these opportunities? You didn't do much work around finding them. They found you. And the reason why they found you is because you are known well. Make sense? So this is why you should aim at doing content creation. Not to become well known, but to become known well. Now, the issue around here is, I understand, maybe some of you I just even convince you to do content, but now you're asking yourself, okay, Eddie, I understand this. How do I go about creating content? How do I become known well? So I have a framework for you. I have the 5 Ds that you should focus on in order to become known well. The first D, let me walk you through them very fast. I have them written here. The first D is done. What have you done? What's your track record, right? So people need to understand, what have you done with your life? What's your track record? What are you capable of? So as you do content, one of the things you should focus on is what you have done. So to let your audience know you well, they should know your track record. The second D is around deliver, right? What do you offer people who follow you? I see a lot of you with pages that are vague. Like people can't literally, if someone cannot tell what you do within the first minute of coming across your page, you need to focus on what you deliver. Understand what should the audience expect from you to deliver, right? So what have you done? Your track record. What do you deliver? What do you focus on? Why should people follow you? The third is, what do you do for your work? What are you involved in daily? So that people can make sense of the opportunities they should be connecting with, right? And the fourth D is dreams. What do you want out of your life? What is your aspiration? Like personally, I'm aspiring to build Silicon Valley in Africa, where we invest heavily in startups. That's what my dream is. And we should know yours. We should know what you're working on. And the 5D is door count. What are you really into? What do you love doing? Like personally, I love playing pool, right? So, and you have yours. And this is a powerful framework you can use in creating content so that people can know you well. What have you done? The track record. What do you deliver? What do you offer to people? What do you do for work? What are you dreaming of? And what are you dorking out, right? And that's a powerful framework around content creation. And one thing I must say around creating content is who follows you is more important than how many people follow you, right? For instance, what would you choose? Rather than having 1 million random followers or having, say, the whole list of Fortune 500 company CEOs following you, So you can see that who follows you is more important than how many people follow you. And who follows you are determined by all these things we just said. So the fifth framework is around conversation. So communication is a powerful way we live life. And personally, I'm an introvert, so I had to struggle with how I talk to people. And this framework helped me understand how can I easily talk to people, right? So there are 3 M's within this framework. The first one is the moment. You can be having the right conversation in the wrong moment. So before you spark up a conversation, understand which moment you are in and which moment the person you're trying to talk to is in. Because I might be down, I may be going through a lot in my personal life, and maybe the subject you're bringing up is not the right moment to have that conversation. So if you want to have powerful conversation, you need to understand the moment in which to have the conversation. So the first conversation is moment. The second the second M on that framework is manner. The manner in which you talk, in which you communicate. The way you carry yourself also impacts how your message comes across, right? So you get the moment right, then you get the manner right, then you get the messaging right? So, and the last thing on the end should be the motivation. Why are we having this conversation in the first place, right? So the 3M on the conversation framework is the manner, the way you talk, the moment, the place, the time, and the motivation. Why are we having the conversation? What's the intent of having the conversation? So this framework on conversation, it turned out my life perfectly, and I hope it does the same for you. The last framework is closer framework. So for those of you who are in sales, this is a powerful framework. So every sales call I take, and I do that in my personal life, I've been in sales for the longest time of my life than I can remember, and that's what I do every day, right? And I had to understand what's the framework I can take and implement on any call, regardless of the product or the service I'm selling. This framework, it works perfectly fine. So the framework is termed as closer, right? So closer as an acronym. And the first T stands for clarify. When you get on a sales call, the first thing you should do is to clarify with your prospect, why are you on a call today? Why did you take the time out of your schedule to talk to me? And if you have this correct, if you have the same understanding on why are they there, you understand their motivation, you understand their intent, you should start from there. So the first thing is clarify why they are on a call with you. That's the first. Second, label them with a problem. Whatever they say in clarification, you should label them with that. For instance, I work with companies to boost their sales. And if I'm talking to a person like, okay, I appreciate you taking the time talking to me. If I may ask, why did you take the time out of your schedule to talk to me? And they're like, the company is struggling with sales, so I'm trying to see how I can boost my sales. So the second thing I do is to label them with the problem, okay? It's like, okay, Mr. John, if I heard you correct, you are here because your company is struggling with sales. Is that correct? So you are laboring with the problem they have, right? And they say, correct, that's it. So let's go. Now there is O. O is overview their past pain. As fast as you hear what their pain is, you need to remind them of that pain, right? So, and that should go something like, okay, I understand that your company is struggling with sales. Could you walk me through what have you tried in the past? Okay. And they may talk to you, we've hired a bunch of salespeople, they didn't do anything. We tried SEO, we tried digital marketing, we tried content, we tried, going around naked, anything they might tell you, right? And as first as you overview their pain, they're actually telling themselves how painful that problem is. So they're easing your way to sell them, because there is nothing as easy as selling to a believer, a person who believes they have a problem. They're easily helped, right? So you overview their past pain. Then after overview their past pain, the next thing is to sell them, right? And this is where most of you go wrong. When you're selling, you should sell a vacation. You should sell a dream. You should sell them the ability to see beyond their pain, how your solution is going to help them and how it has helped many people in the past. And that is what you should focus on. Take the problem they told you and sell them a vacation, a dream, an after view of how this will look like after they have acquired your solution. And because they have enough pain, they've told themselves, it's easy to understand your solution. After that, you have the E is explain away their objections. They're likely to come up, oh, I need to pray about this. I need to talk about with my wife. I need to think about it. I need. Okay, so you need to understand how to explain away their objection. And I may do a detailed video later. Just talk to me in the comment if you think I should go hard on handling objections and how I go about that. For instance, let me give you one. If I come across someone and say, okay, I need to talk to someone who does the same thing you're doing to understand if the price is different or anything else. Okay, so it's mainly they want to talk to my competitor. So one of the ways I handle this is like, okay, so here are the top 3 competitors in my space, and I have their brochures in front of me. I have the pricing, I have everything. I'm the best deal you can get. And I share them with the details. They go through them, they see everything I offer, they see what they offer, they see the price point, they see everything, they take the decision. And that's one of them, and I have a bunch of them. So if you want me to go through handling objections, like very detailed, I can do that. Let me know in the comment. And the last R is reinforce. As fast as they buy, you need to reinforce their decision to make them feel better about working with you. Because one of the things people don't know, it's hard to get a sale, it's harder to maintain a client. And the way you maintain a client is to reinforce their belief the faster they see the product. You can do a personalized video with them, you can do an onboarding session, anything you can do. So Closer Framework is a powerful way to sell. Clarify why they are on a call, label them with the problem, overview their past pain, sell them a vacation, explain away their objection, and reinforce their decision. So that's Closer Framework, powerful. And that's it for the frameworks. Let me give you a bonus of 3 mental models that I'm going to share with you. Then we're done for today, right? So the first mental model is around the internal dialogue we have with ourselves. So you've heard a lot about the way we talk to ourselves matters the most, but we really are mean to ourselves. The way we talk to ourselves is not good. And this is how the cycle goes. So you talk to yourself in a negative way, right? Your internal dialogue. Then your dialogue affects your belief, right? Because the more you talk to yourself around, maybe I'm an introvert, I don't know how to talk, I can't do math, I can't run, I can't do gym. So you're having an internal dialogue with yourself. And those dialogues, they affect your belief, right? So you start to believe what you're telling yourself. And your belief will affect the level of actions you will take. So if you don't believe you can speak well, the level of action you'll take around speaking will also be low, right? So you can see how the dialogue affected your belief affected your level of actions, and your level of actions will affect also the results you're getting, right? And the results will reinforce your belief. So after you see the results and they're negative, you'll say, I told you this before I started. I knew this wouldn't work. I knew I'm not good at speaking. I knew I couldn't do math, right? And it's not true. It's the dialogue you had with yourself. So you had a dialogue that convinced your belief system that you're not good. Your belief affected the level of action you took. The level of action, because was low, the results were low. And your result reinforced the belief you had in the first place. So change the way you talk to yourself, you'll change the results you see. Then another mental model is super easy. If you can decide, the answer is no. A lot of us struggle with making decisions. And there is a powerful tool around your instincts, your gut feelings, the way you feel about something. Have you ever been in a situation where something happened and like, yeah, I see that happening. I knew this, there was something off with the person. I just couldn't figure that out. And if you use this mental model, it will ease this. If you're having trouble deciding something, it's because something is wrong with that thing to decide on. So the answer is no. If you can't decide, the answer is no, right? Last mental model. I use this as a business consultant, and it's a powerful tool. So anytime I'm hired as a consultant and I'm trying to understand what's wrong with this business, this is how I think. So I'm like, okay, if I'm an investor, what are the 3 reasons I shouldn't invest in this company? And I write the reason. Maybe the team lacks credibility, their sales system is broken, and their product is not well branded. Maybe those 3. And after I figure out what the 3 are, I go on and fix those 3 things, right? And this is a powerful mental model. If you're trying to solve a thing, ask yourself, what are the 3 things that are bad about this thing? And go and fix those 3. After you fix them, we can look on the other 3. Right, that's it for today. This was kind of exhausting personally for me because it's been some time since I did these YouTube videos. But I hope you got a bunch of wisdom through this. And I hope that we can have an engaging time after on. Talk to me in the comments if I should go hard on a certain topic, and let me know what should I release more as I try to serve you better in this 2024. Thank you for sticking with me. Share with your friends, subscribe. Let's go. Happy 2024. Cheers.